Welcome to Anime Real Talk, where we share our honest opinions on anime, Japan, news, and much more. It doesn't matter if you're new to anime, if you're a casual or a complete weeb, join the conversation here. Today, I'm your host Ramin, and I'm joined by.
Taha.
And Ross.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. How's the new year going for you guys?
It's going pretty well.
Yeah, it's okay. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff, especially in terms of London and what I'm going to do in the future.
Right.
Yeah, there's one thing I actually wanted to ask you guys. Like, do you see yourself staying in London for forever or like a long period of time? And this question is coming from more around the price point of view, like how
No.
costly it is.
Probably not.
I don't know, man. I feel like as someone who didn't live in London, like you guys lived in London your whole lives, but as someone who grew up especially like growing up in Qatar, because when I was living in Qatar, there wasn't much there. It was kind of like I had just moved from Abu Dhabi and Dubai, which had just developed themselves
When did
to
you
the
move?
point of like, so when I was born, I was basically one. I moved to Dubai. I lived there for like 2-3 years of my childhood, and then I moved to. So I don't really remember living in Dubai.
Right.
And then I moved to Abu Dhabi, and I lived there until I was 12, and then I moved to Qatar. But basically, like by the time I got to 12, I was actually like doing normal human activities in Abu Dhabi because they just had like built all the malls and they had really like revamped the city.
Yeah.
So it was finally got to a point where it was actually like a really good city to live in. Like they had so many up and coming things that they were building and things like that. And then I moved to Qatar, and it was basically like going 10 years back in time. And it was like really, really at the beginning of its revamp process and building process. So then by the time I left, they had just finished building like all the malls and activities and outdoor areas. So I feel like I've already lived such a huge portion of my life living in like somewhere with nothing to do, that now that I moved to London, I can't see myself leaving. And I feel like even though we can't go out, just knowing that there's a possibility that COVID will end and I'm going to be stuck in like somewhere doing absolutely nothing or not being able to do like going to museums or going shopping or whatever it is that I couldn't do for most of my life, I'm going to be like pissed at myself. So I think for me, I kind of want to stay in London for as long as possible, but I can understand if you grew up here and spent your whole life here already, why it would be attractive to move somewhere else.
Yeah, so like my opinion on that is obviously I'm from London, grew up here, spent most of my life here. I've kind of seen it for what it is, right? I've been to majority of areas, right? There's so much new things always happening in London, right? That's why I like it. I'll always like it, but in terms of cost and stuff, I feel like it's becoming so much more. It's becoming difficult to kind of buy a property here, or even like put down roots. So there's this whole idea of like mortgage first, renting, and then paying like an absurd amount in the city center or even like zones 2, 3, 4. Now because of the COVID hit and a lot of people are working more flexibly, I've been thinking about potentially moving like out of London, but like still close enough to commute in. So yeah, that's like one of the things I've been thinking about. And I'm a city guy, right? So I always kind of like to feel connected, and you know, it's the idea of meeting people, new people, just having everything to do at your fingertips.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask you guys, when you go somewhere on holiday or go to the countryside, do you ever feel weird because it's too quiet?
Yeah.
or do you like it?
No, I dislike quiet areas.
Yeah, because
I don't mind
I don't know, just wherever I've lived, I've always lived next to a main road, especially like in the Middle East, and the roads are obviously like 5-6 lanes half the time. Like the minimum a road would be is 3 lanes. So for me, whenever I would go to Wales to stay at my grandmother's house, it's like in the moors and stuff. So it's like it's not really, there's not many cars, and it would always make me feel really weird. I'd have such trouble sleeping for weeks because it's too quiet.
Yeah, I think the thing with me was I just feel so disconnected. It's like I'm not at the heart of something. I'm just like
exactly
off on the side somewhere. It's like I'm not getting the full value of kind of life. I'm not in with the most people, and it feels like I'm not experiencing as much as I could, you know?
that is 100% going to change as you get older. Like
Yeah, that's what I was
when
thinking
you get
as
older,
well.
you're going to
Like
want to
even
move out of the
now,
city.
yeah, and it's pretty interesting because I was reading an article as well, and this is more around Tokyo and Japan, right? And there's a certain
Real talk news.
there's a certain Japanese city which is gaining interest among families and even renters, but it's not in Tokyo.
Okay.
So there's a large database searching website in Japan called Sumo, and essentially you search on there for properties and stuff. It's a real estate website essentially, and what they revealed was in 2020 there was a new city that was the most searched for. I'm pretty sure you guys probably won't be able to guess because there's so many different places like around Tokyo, the greater Tokyo area. So this one's actually in Saitama Prefecture, and it's called Wako.
Okay.
Wako.
Yeah. it's got a strange name.
Yeah.
But if you search it where it is, right, it's basically the more north of Tokyo, northwest kind of, right? And obviously there's like many reasons why. But I think the main reasons they were saying is that it's a convenient place to live. It's got easy access to uptown Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
But it's also got privacy, and it's more of a laid back, calm suburban area, away from like the hustle and the bustle or like the city life.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also getting some more regeneration. Like the station is getting refurbished. There's like certain buildings popping up which will have which will house more offices, shopping outlets, apartments, restaurants, and Wako itself is very, very well connected. It's got like the Tokyo Tubu line, which connects like Ikebukuro.
Oh damn! Okay.
Yeah, and
big station.
Exactly. Yeah, and other like hotspots in Saitama.
Yeah.
Such as
But you know what the thing is though, like when you compare London to Tokyo, basically the entirety of Tokyo is just like zone 1 of London.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're talking about people moving out, like when we're like even in zone 2, now that I moved to zone 2, I feel like it's still less metropolitan than anywhere in Tokyo. Like Tokyo is such a metropolitan city, like it's all buildings. I mean, not the whole thing. Like obviously you can go down a side street and it will just all be small, traditional Japanese houses. Like it's such a weird city. But I feel like we can make a generalization to say that the majority of housing there is quite metropolitan.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference with London, right? So London has like a lot of suburban-esque areas even within zone 2. So even where I'm living now, there's flat blocks, right? Like big flats. But then at the same time, there's like so many semi-detached housing and like people owning like big houses.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird area. And I feel like maybe Wako is the same thing as like living in zone 2, but it just, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the thing is like Tokyo is massive compared to London, right?
Yeah, it
like
is,
it's so much bigger. So even if people are moving out to Wako, like that commute into Central is probably going to be quite a while because it's not close. It's not really close at all.
I mean, even traveling to the airport is like an hour. Like from Shinjuku, it takes like straight up like hour and a half on the train.
Yeah, and like when you look on the map, it looks relatively close, but it's still like an hour. But yeah, obviously, like moving out into more of a suburban prefecture, there'll be cheaper costs. So I think it's a general trend to kind of, now that the virus has kind of hit, the pandemic is hopefully going away. People don't see the urge to live in a city center.
Yeah.
And I was feeling that kind of same feeling.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. But I feel like it still depends on what your work's doing. Because I've seen a lot of companies, and a lot of companies have come out and said that they're going to expect people to go back in the office when COVID's over. But I feel like there's certain types of people that need to be in the office, and there's certain types of people that don't. And I definitely do not like being in an office. I've really liked and enjoyed working from home and having the freedom to manage my own time, because for me, when I'm in an office, it's more of a distraction because there's so many people and so many things happening that I can't keep focused on my work. And there's always someone who wants to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
And I think that at home I can kind of just go into work mode and just bang out all of my work without being interrupted. And then like even when I'm on my lunch break, I can still have an hour-long lunch break, but I can do something that I actually enjoy. Like I can sit and watch anime. Whereas I feel like in the office, you're kind of forced to do things dependent on what's happening
And
in
with
the
other
office.
people, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not to say that I don't like socializing with other people. Like sometimes I really do like it, but you know what it is. Like if you're in an office 5 days a week, sometimes you just want to have an hour on your own, but it's kind of difficult because you're in a confined space with a bunch of other people. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually
if
hoping like the working week changes.
Yeah, I'm hoping it does.
And even though I like working from home, like a lot more than being in the office, like that 1 or 2 days in an office, I don't think I would mind it if it was like,
yeah, 1 or 2 days is fine.
just come
but
in
I
for
feel like
Monday, Tuesday, and then the rest of the week just do what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's dependent on like your individual circumstances, your job. A lot of tech careers, they're more on the side of, work from home if you can.
Yeah. I feel like if I had the opportunity, I would probably be more inclined to move out of London. But as of now, I don't really see myself getting the opportunity to work from home all the time. So I feel like for that reason, I would definitely stay. But I can see why. Maybe not like completely out of London, but maybe farther out in the zones, like in a weird area like a zone 5, where it's basically not in London, but you still have the tube.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's probably something I'd think about.
Yeah. Have you guys been eating anything strange, or have you made anything recently?
No, I don't eat strange food, unfortunately.
I was like, straight
Fortunately
no.
for me.
I don't eat strange food.
I don't
Bang.
eat. I don't eat like I'll eat like say something exotic that's like like fucking octopus or some shit like that, or live octopus or something. Because that I wouldn't count as like strange in a sense where it's a mishmash of bullshit, just a mishmash of stupid ingredients that should not go together, like the fucking Oreo and Spam McDonald's burger that they released for like a fucking name. What the fuck does that even mean? It's not in Japan,
Oreo and
but
Spam.
like I know Japanese like McDonald's do some dumbass menus, but this is in China. They released like a McDonald's Oreo and Spam
The chocolate Oreo,
burger. Yeah, chocolate Oreo and Spam
wow.
burger for a day.
A mayonnaise.
Wait, just for one day?
Yeah. And the thing is, the funny thing is, it's Spam like the actual company Spam.
Yeah.
That's Spam. It's not even like some kind of original McDonald's made Spam. It's like you buy the Spam, you put it in the McDonald's bun, and then you buy the Oreo, and then you put it in the McDonald's bun.
Yo, the greatest food collaboration ever. Yeah. McDonald's X Oreo X Spam.
To be honest, I feel like
the merch.
I feel like it's a right of like when you're traveling, you have to go to a fast food place like McDonald's or KFC, especially in Asia. Yeah,
you said this before, but I didn't do it.
It's a rite of passage.
I was just eating in all the traditional places, but I think next time I go, I have to.
Yeah.
But I am not. That's like eating this burger is just an instant D-bomb. Yeah, like you're gonna just go home and just shit yourself. Why would you eat this?
It's just a waste of money, man.
To be fair, I just looked it up. They're $2, so maybe wasting $2 isn't that bad to say you ate this. But I just feel like the subsequent fucked up stomach from eating this probably isn't worth it.
Yeah, but apparently there was 400,000 of them made, right? And they were split across like 3,700 McDonald's locations, right? And they were so popular, most of them sold out by lunchtime.
Why?
I just feel like it was probably more Instagram, Oh, I tried this.
Yeah, probably.
I'm an influencer in China. I bought this. Yes, I'm famous.
Hey, I looked at the picture of it, and I thought that the white, there's like a white sauce on the top. I thought that was the Oreo stuffing, but it's fucking mayonnaise.
Yeah, exactly. Disgusting. That's what I said.
So it's mayonnaise, Oreos, and Spam.
Yes,
and that's it.
It just sounds like filth. But I think in Japan itself there was katsu chicken curry McNuggets. So it doesn't sound bad.
Sounds shit.
How? But wait. You like chicken katsu, right?
Yeah, but nuggets?
Yeah, it would just be.
That sounds so horrible, man.
Flavored.
I don't know. It doesn't sound.
I think the sauce would be. Oh, actually, no. It says
When I
sweet
th-
The
curry
thing is,
dip.
though, like if you think about it, I kind of agree with ramen
Think
because
of nuggets.
a
I don't.
nugget is very thin,
Yeah.
and katsu chicken is normally very thick.
Yeah.
I think they've
So-
just spreaded it with panko breadcrumbs and just called it katsu. To be honest.
Yeah, probably. I don't know if it's
Stupid.
actual katsu, but
It's just a chicken nugget spread in like crumbs and shit.
yeah, I saw the thing that also confused me is it doesn't seem like it actually comes with katsu sauce. It just comes with a regular like curry sauce from McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are you calling it
That
katsu
is
curry?
not-
And then it comes with like that next like disgusting curry sauce.
That
they
curry
have.
sauce isn't even curry sauce. That's
Apparently.
just another white made thing, like another like non-Indian like made thing. That's just like a stereotypical. Oh, this is what curry tastes like. Let's make a sauce out of it. That's what McDonald's.
Bro, it's
thought.
just like it's basically just
Stupid.
sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, it's actually coming to the UK, and
Oh,
it's going to be released
no.
in
katsu
stores around the UK from the 30th of December. So it's actually
Okay,
already out by the
boys.
time this releases.
We're okay.
I had the
But
spice. Look, I had the spicy one, and that was so shit.
The spicy ones
so
were really bad. I tried
shit.
them.
I'm not gonna do another new McDonald's.
I was
like,
gonna say, boys, what we have to do is we have to get the chicken katsu nuggets from McDonald's and the chicken katsu strips from Sam's and do a comparison fast food
You
chicken
guys can
katsu.
do the katsu.
Yeah, let's do it. I think
nuggets,
Sam's is going to be
bros.
better.
Bro, I can't believe that Sam's has chicken katsu though. Now we finally have a reason to eat it. I would never eat that normally, but
Yeah,
now we got
so
a reason.
bad.
let's do
On
it.
the topic of weird food, I don't know if you guys saw this earlier in the year, but McDonald's in Japan released something called an adult cream pie.
Is that
So
is that even legal?
apparently, so
Japan-
basically, what they literally so it's called otona no cream pie, which translates to adult cream pie. So this is what they sold,
All right.
and basically they had a white one and a like brown one, and it's supposed to be like a vanilla custard and a chocolate custard.
Okay.
And when I saw the article about it, the article was written in like, basically it was like, oh, it was so thick and creamy that I didn't know if I could handle it. So I was reading this article and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like the guy who wrote this article definitely knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But then when I saw the pie, it's basically like an apple pie.
Yeah.
But they filled it with either Belgian chocolate custard or vanilla custard. And when I think about it, it would actually probably be really tasty. Like it would probably
The
be a really
name
good
is
dessert for them to
off-
always
Yeah, I
sell.
saw the
Put
pictures.
it-
But I just can't believe they called it that. Like, why did they call it adult cream pie?
It's because Japan, like in my opinion, I think Japan in the world is one of the most perverted, like openly perverted countries.
No, but I think it's just wrong in terms of like naming. I don't think they did it
Yeah,
on
why did?
purpose.
But that's my point. Like, why did they name it?
I think
that?
it's just
Why
That's
did
lost
what I'm
in
saying.
translation.
They're
Like-
just openly like perverts. Like Japan, the country itself is just openly perverted. I mean, think about it.
Maybe to them though, it's not perverted, right?
Stuff-
like maybe like
Stuff like I
It's
mean,
just-
think about
it's
it.
just
The word
normal.
hentai means pervert, right?
yeah.
But they made a whole like culture out of it and stuff like that. And then they've got the groping girls.
Do you think?
In
Okay, what do
trains
you
and
think?
shit like that?
Chicken versus egg situation. What do you think happened first? Do you think that hentai, the animation, was made first, or do you think
No,
that
the
the
word-
word was made first and they named it that?
I think because the word means pervert, it got
Yeah, I'm
it got it got made into the okay, you know what? We can make perverted cartoons or perverted manga, but then for the foreigners, that just means it doesn't mean pervert. It just means a genre of said thing.
So I found out, right, it's definitely been lost in translation. So there's two words, right? So the actual pie, right, is called otana no cream pie, okay? And otana is normally used to describe confectionery with less sweetness, aimed at more adult palates, right?
So they just
But they basically like
made
the English translation
stupid.
translates into adult cream
So I'm
pie.
saying, bro, I'm telling you, Japan, in my opinion, is the most openly perverted countries after Amsterdam, or like Amsterdam and a city. Amsterdam as a city is like allows everything, right? So like they're like
But
neck and neck.
they're not perverted.
Amsterdam's
They're
not
just like-
perverted. They just allow the adult stuff. But Japan, I think, tops like they're like number one. We are openly like perverted. everything you hear about us, like a lot of weird shit, it's all perverted stuff. Always. Every time
Bruh.
there's something weird, it's always something like perverse. Like I was reading this article. Apparently, you know how they have like college entrance exams, like university entrance
Yeah,
exams.
yeah.
That's like the day of the perverts in Japan.
Why?
Because they know perverts target that day to go on trains. Because they know
Oh,
that girls
mad.
girls girls who are running to go to their exams will not say anything to the gropers. They will not call the
Oh,
police because they're
damn.
Oh,
too
that's
they're too
crazy.
they're too scared that they're gonna be late for the exam and then ruin
Yeah,
their life.
actually, on the subway, they have female-only carriages. I think we talked about this in a previous episode. Tyler, didn't you sit on one? Didn't you like ride a bunch of stops and then realize you're on the women's carriage?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
The
like,
first
I
time I
mean,
went there.
look, the fact that they have a women-only carriage just
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
to show how
It's
I
pretty
don't
mad.
think it's a funny topic. I think it's a really bad topic. The fact that they have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
day of
Yeah.
perverts on the train. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
the
crazy shit,
government
man.
knows about this shit, but they're not gonna do anything about it. It's like that
But
makes
that's
no
like
sense.
I don't know, that's like
But
a
to be honest,
cultural thing. I feel like
It's weird,
it's a
man.
educating
It's
people
yeah.
to
it's
not do it
so
I
thing.
was
bad,
able to
in my
use the
opinion.
gaijin card, so people around me probably knew that I had no idea where I was sitting, so they didn't
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
care.
yeah, it makes
They
sense.
kind
It
of
makes
just like
sense.
kept looking at me, and at first I thought it was it's because I'm foreign, right? I'm not from here.
Yeah,
Then I
Yeah.
looked at the floor, okay, and
yeah.
it's
The
pink, and
pink floor.
it's
And
a
it's got the women's
yeah.
it doesn't have the women's
Oh
symbol.
Yeah, yeah, it's
man,
got
that
a women's
sucks.
single and like a dress. Okay.
The thing
And
was,
then
I almost went on it,
yeah.
but I saw the fucking women's symbol and I was like, oh, this must be the women's carriage at the front of the train.
Yeah.
But you were just like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna just sit
Yeah,
down.
because I
Nice,
was like,
cool pink
this is my
carriage
first train ever. I'm just gonna get a seat.
on your
That's
first
true.
train ever.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I
And I
probably would do the
realized,
Oh
same
man.
thing if
it,
it's not fully obvious. If I'm
yeah,
like looking at my phone or some shit and I get on the train, like I'd probably do the same thing as Tala. But obviously now that I know that there probably is, it's at the very front of the train. I'm not gonna go on it. But the fact that
Damn.
they have that stuff, like that's what I mean when I
Yeah.
say Japan's like the most openly like
Yeah,
perverted
yeah,
countries. They're like, oh yeah, we do this shit. It's fine. You guys
yeah.
might think it's
Well,
weird, but we think it's fine. It's like bro, it's weird. It's not
yeah.
fine.
I
Damn,
got
man.
one more food
Oh,
article that I
please, not
saw.
another one. No.
So there's one last one that I saw that I think is worth mentioning.
Yeah.
So a Japanese pork cutlet chain. So I don't know if you guys know what these are, but basically in Japan,
Katsu.
they have different chains
Oh.
that are to do with usually like rice and a type of meat. So they have
Ooh.
beef ones, they have chicken ones, um, and they have pork cutlet ones. So
Sounds like a
basically, it's like
donburi
an
place.
area that you go to get a very cheap meal,
okay.
and it's usually
Nice.
businessmen, and you just go in like bang a quick meal and you leave. And basically, this one chain unveiled the latest food fusion,
Oh
and
no.
it was a cornflake chicken
Huh?
katsu bowl.
So like breakfast and lunch combined.
So basically, instead of using breadcrumbs, they used cornflakes to coat the chicken, and
Oh,
it's like full pieces. It's not like they smashed them up. Like
to be
I know
honest,
that
I've
some
tried that.
people.
I've tried it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but bro, like I've tried it, but like smashed up. I have never seen one that's like the whole pieces.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you see the
Chunk of
pieces of chicken,
Kellogg's.
they're like a potato because there's so much cornflakes on the outside,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're huge cornflakes.
But to be honest,
I
it's
don't
actually
know.
quite bomb. Like I liked it when I had it. Like if
Yeah,
you
'cause
have
it's really
cornflakes,
crunchy.
yeah. If it's another substitute for panko breadcrumbs or any other kind of breadcrumbs.
Yeah,
If you crush them up finely and you coat like your meat in it,
but that's the key, right? Crush it up finely.
yeah.
But these ones are they've just banged a box of cornflakes straight in the chicken, and
Let's have
the
that, right?
freaking yeah, it looks pretty wild. Like
Eating that.
I can't imagine eating it like normally. Like imagine you were walking past and you saw your colleague eating the cornflakes
That's
out of
just
a
some
rice bowl
weird
with
shit.
like mayonnaise on it. You'd think that this guy was crazy.
You would
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it's like the
Oh,
crazy
anyway,
wanders of
that's all I had. That's all I
Japanese
had in
food.
terms of food.
Yeah. Okay. I have another one which is not related to food, but it's more of like
Okay.
I'd say it's more of a positive outcome of this whole coronavirus situation. So it was
Yeah.
recently kind of announced that a lot of the Japanese airline staff would be reassigned to work as shrine maidens in different
Oh,
shrines
sick.
across Tokyo, Japan, during the coronavirus travel downturn. So I think this is a really good like wholesome story where
Salary drop
Japan's
though.
kind of reallocating people to work elsewhere. Because I don't think you see this in a lot of different countries.
How much do
Um,
shrine maids make?
Well, I don't know about their salary, but I assume
That's got to be
probably
a
not a
salary
lot.
cut, like a straight just cut. I mean, it's better than not having a job, honestly.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, it's definitely
So
better than not having a
it
job.
was mainly the Japanese airlines, so JAL employees from the Fukuoka airport. So they will start working as Shinto shrine maidens. And
Damn.
there's like a whole video as well, like of them undergoing training of how to like do the daily rituals, how to like deal with customers, the etiquette.
What a job change.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's a straight
But-
up career change, bro.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the Western example of that would be like if you worked for BA, like British Airways, and they were like, "You're a nun now.
Yeah, go be a priest,
Like,
go
go
be
to
a nun.
this church and you're a nun."
but the interesting thing here, right, is working as a shrine maiden doesn't require taking long-term vows, like in terms of being a Christian nun, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing it does require is knowledge of specialized vocabulary and etiquette.
Okay.
So you don't need to kind of like change religion or adopt a
They're not
religion.
Yeah.
You just need to treat people properly and in a certain way.
Are shrines very religious places? I thought it was like just more spiritual. I thought Japanese people were more spiritual than religious per se.
I think it depends. Shintoism is a very spiritually based religion or following.
Yeah.
But the shrines are also, I feel like the shrines are also a cultural thing. They're
Yeah.
not just religious. It's like everyone that goes to them isn't just going to
Exactly,
the shrine
exactly.
because they believe in Shintoism. They're doing it because it's like, oh, I
It's a
want good
culture
luck,
thing.
so I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
and like get a blessing or whatever. Like it's not you could not be following Shintoism and you'd still go because it's a
Right.
cultural thing to do.
Yeah. So it makes
Yeah.
sense.
And
for
there's a
them.
lot of cultural things in terms of the processes as well. Because when you go to a shrine, because I went to one of the biggest shrines as well, like Meiji Jinju, when I was in.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I will speak about that in a
Yeah,
minute.
amazing.
But when I went there was different kind of amulets and presents and kind of stuff to ward off and give good luck.
Right.
And there's a certain way and manner that people give those to you and how you kind of purchase those, as well as like certain rituals where you can't go, how you give the money, how you
like you have to wash your hands with the water before you go in and things like that.
yeah.
Very
Bro, it
interesting.
was so funny when I was there. There was a guy. So obviously they, I don't know if anyone has been to Japan or seen what the shrines are like, but they always have a little well type of situation where you take a big ladle and you kind of get the water and you wash your hands. And there was a like European tourist there. My man just dipped the ladle in and was just drinking the fucking water.
Oh no!
And I was looking at him, and everyone was looking at him, like all the Japanese people were looking at him, like, what the fuck
Oh
is
yeah,
wrong
because it
with
was
this
summer,
guy?
right?
And then he started gargling it, and he spat it back in the thing. And I
This
was
is some
like,
next
holy
level
shit.
Man was
Logan
cleaning
Paul
himself.
shit, bro.
I was looking at the guy, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yo, are you sure
Yeah.
that
Like,
wasn't Logan Paul that you saw?
He definitely watched the wrong YouTube video.
No,
He
I
watched
was
Logan
there
Paul.
in Japan.
I mean, he
He
watched
And the
he
guy
watched the
was
wrong
doing-
one.
Oh yeah, he watched the wrong thing. Yeah, I
That
was
guy
like,
was
what the
watching
fuck is
Logan
going
Paul
on with this guy?
videos,
But
for
I was
sure.
just looking at, and obviously someone came up to him. I was like, you can't do that. But I was like, if you just saw like maybe 30 people go and wash their hands for like 2 seconds and
You
go
do
inside
the
the
same
shrine,
thing.
why would you start gargling the water and
Yeah.
spit it out?
And I think the funniest thing is, right, when you walk into Meiji Jinju, there's obviously that area where you wash your hands, but nearby is a fountain where you can get water.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? When I was there, I forgot. I never mentioned this. I don't think I've actually told anyone. When I was there, who's the guy that's in Riverdale? Which one of the Cole Sprouse or Dylan Sprouse or whatever? Which one does Riverdale?
I
One
think
of
it's,
them, bro.
I think it's
One of them.
Dylan Sprouse.
Probably did.
Bro, me and my girlfriend were walking and he bumped into me, like just like walking past, and he said like, "Oh, sorry," and I looked at him and he could see that my eyes were like, "Oh shit, it's that guy."
Yeah.
And then he started walking, like him and his girlfriend at the time. I think she's also famous. I think she's a model. My girlfriend told me, but I had no idea who she was. They just like power walked
Yeah.
to kind of get out because I had realized who he was. And I think that there was a general buzz, like people were kind of clocking that it was him, but then they were mostly Japanese people at this part of the shrine because they have like a flower garden area and there
Right.
weren't that many.
Yeah, if I was
white
you, I
tourists
would have
there.
power walked up to him.
Bro, I wanted to go up to him and just be like, "Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was fire."
Yeah, thanks for the
you.
memories.
No, you should have just said
Thanks
that
for the
while
good
he was.
memories.
You should have just been like, "Yo, Sweet Life Zack and
Bro,
Cody's lit" as he's power walking
I was
off.
teasing.
Yeah.
I was teasing my girlfriend so much that I was gonna go up to him and just be like, "Sweet Life of Zack and Cody's primetime TV, bro. Like Riverdale's nothing. You should go back and make Sweet Life of Zack and Cody Reloaded or something."
yeah.
Like
When I see
I
like
was,
famous people out about in central London, I don't actually ever go up to them. Like if they walk past,
Yeah.
I'll like shout something
I kind
or
of feel
like
bad for them, man. Like imagine, like every day you go out, you're. What are you thinking about? Like someone's gonna come up to you. Like how many people are gonna come up
Exactly.
to you today? Like
yeah, you know
just
John
feel bad.
Malkovich.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw
it's true.
him in you know where that small Odeon is in Leicester Square.
Yeah.
The one where they used to show like just exclusive like anime stuff
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I saw him on that road because he was doing a show next to that Odeon. There's that theater, right?
Yeah.
And he was doing a show there
Who
at
was
the
this?
time. John Malkovich.
Big name. Bigger
Really big
than
name.
bigger than my sighting.
Yeah,
But,
but I
yeah.
saw Tom Cruise as well near Chinatown one time.
Yeah, so like
Oh,
But this
tell
was
how I
like
did us, guys. Ramen, just don't say a story anymore.
no, like
this
I
was,
saw
like,
I
8,
saw
10 years
him
ago.
and like he realized that I knew who he was and I was just like yo I really like your work and I just walked off, and then he was like
Yeah.
yeah thank you, and because if you ask them for a
Yeah, that's
picture
a
in the
normal
middle,
interaction.
it's just I just wanted to say hi and say that I appreciate
Yeah.
his work, and he was like happy about it, and then we just went off on our ways. But then
Yeah.
behind me there was someone that was like, oh yeah, can I get a picture? And he was like, no, I don't do pictures with people outside. And I was like, I respect that. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, and the other guy was like, what do you mean? And he got kind of pissed and like walked off, and I was like, bro,
Just
this
leave him
guy's
alone, man.
this guy's
he's a
out here
normal
just
human,
chilling.
yeah.
He's not in the
Yeah.
red carpet. In the red carpet, he'll probably give you a picture, but
Hmm.
like they say, he's going about his daily business. Leave him alone.
Exactly. And
Tyler, you were probably excited when you saw Tom Cruise
I
because
would
he's
be.
actually shorter than you.
yeah, he is. He's like he's like 5. He's like 5'7", right?
Yeah.
Or nearly 5'8", and
Man's a midget.
I'm like 5'9", nearly 5'10" around that height.
Yeah.
So when I saw him, it was like, But like yeah, at the time,
It's a busy as fuck place to go if you're.
but he
a Tom Cruise level
he wasn't in
celebrity.
central Chinatown. He was like
Oh,
off
okay.
one of the side roads when you walk
Okay.
up,
And you just happened to
and
like.
he
walk
was
past
getting
him.
into a car.
Yo,
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
so he
people, a lot of
finished up.
famous people actually do that in like Chinatown Soho. So they're not in the central, but they're on the side roads. You know the guy, you guys watched Maze Runner before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the guy who's called Tommy? His name in
Wait,
real life is also
what
Tommy.
is it?
The
What's he
the
look
white
like?
guy. So like out of the trio, there's Dylan O'Brien, there's the Korean dude, and then the other blonde kid
Oh yeah.
who's also
yeah.
pretty famous.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember what his name. He was like a really
Yeah, his
famous
name's
child actor.
Thomas or whatever.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, Thomas something. I don't remember what.
Was
his
he the
name
main
was.
guy?
He's
Yeah,
one of the
the
main
main
guys.
guy.
Yeah.
The main guy.
One of
Oh,
the main three.
his name's Dylan.
No,
No,
not
it
Dylan
wasn't.
O'Brien.
Oh, okay.
The other one, the blonde one.
I don't remember.
Oh, the blonde one.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the main dude.
No, not the main, not Dylan O'Brien. The other guy.
So the one that
The British
have you
one.
guys seen the Queen's Gambit?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, so that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
So like I saw him, and then we just like I didn't say anything because he was like on the side like the side road, one of the side roads in Soho. He's
Yeah.
going into a pub and he was like he was having a cigarette. He realized that I realized who he was, and we just like did a nod and like a smile, and we just parted ways. I didn't want to like interrupt him because he's just
Yeah.
going about his daily business, you know.
Yeah.
He's in
Yeah.
a pub
Trying
chilling
to
with
live
his
his
friends.
life.
He's like having a smoke. I was just like, oh yeah, I acknowledged, and he realized that I like knew who he was. I just went about because I hate stopping. I get that they're famous, but I also have to keep in mind they're normal people as well.
Yeah.
They're only famous because
Exactly.
we like their movies and they have talent and stuff like that, you know. Like you
Yeah.
see a lot of famous people in Chinatown in central London. you
Yeah,
know?
I saw Tom Hiddleston.
Really?
Oh, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. I didn't like see. I saw him because he was doing that show in next to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
audience. That on
So
that
I was
theater.
actually walking by when that show finished, and there was
Bro, there was
basically
a
so many
line.
people
There was a
just
line.
like chilling there. So I was like, definitely something's happening. And then there's that theater near the end of Chinatown,
Just doing
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
show
yeah.
meet and greet.
and there was just basically a picture of like the main actors and actresses on it,
Yeah.
and it was Tom Hiddleston. And then I asked like somebody who was chilling there, and then she was like, "Oh, at the end of every show, like every day, Tom Hiddleston comes out
does a
from
meet
the
and greet.
exit and then he'll
Yeah.
basically say hi to people and like take a few pictures, and then he'll go.
Yeah. He
And
does
then
like a meet and greet before he
yeah,
leaves.
and luckily like I didn't even wait like 10 minutes. It was like 5 minutes, and he just popped out. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And I was like, I just carried on. I was like, I don't really care. Just
I
let him
think
do what he wants.
he was doing that show
Yeah.
for like about a month there, and he was doing it almost like every single like main show. He would do it afterwards. So you'd see him on the weekend, just like a line of people going around the whole of the theater, just waiting for him to come out and like do his little meet and greet.
Yeah.
So like I'd see
Yeah.
him like every other weekend,
Okay.
just there.
Anyway, back to the shrines one. Just a quick one. Yeah, when I first went to Meiji Jinju, I kind of got lost because I came through like
Yeah.
a park entrance, and I couldn't really tell where it was because
Yeah,
the
the park
trees are
was nice.
massive. Like trees are
Yeah,
massive.
that was amazing. When I saw them,
Yeah.
I got so happy.
Yeah,
I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I just love big trees.
Yeah, it's really surreal. Like I felt like I was in
Yeah,
a
it's sick.
different world completely, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when I was walking through that park area, just trying to find out where the shrine was, just following random like signs. It was
Yeah.
so peaceful,
Yeah.
and it was just serene. And I was just like, this is like a whole different world compared to like even central Tokyo. Like even though this is
Yeah.
in Harajuku, right? Harajuku is like one of the busiest places in Tokyo. If you just 10 minutes down into like the Meiji Jinju shrine area, it's a
Yeah.
whole different environment.
Yeah, you get that in a lot of places in Tokyo. Like when I was there, we had an Airbnb in a place called Teitoku, which is quite central, but not like all the way central. It's like a stop closer to central Tokyo than what's the place that has the really big shrine? Starts with an A.
Oh,
No
It's-
idea.
Akatsuka or something.
Yeah, yeah. So it's that one. So it's like that one's kind of farther out than Teito. So Teito's a bit closer to central Tokyo, but it's like more of a living area than a big area for anything. Like it was mostly just residential, and there were some houses, but sorry, some schools. But it was so quiet, and literally you walk like 20 minutes down the road, and it becomes so bustling and like full of restaurants and all types of stuff. So it's weird that you can still be in Tokyo, but it's like completely dead.
Yeah.
Interesting
And it's
stuff.
the same thing with the Imperial Castle. If you go to that is like literally that area around the castle. I called it the Japanese Canary Wharf because that's what it
lol,
looks like.
really?
It just looks like Canary Wharf, but it's all around the castle. And when you're in the castle, other than some tourists, it's so quiet. And there's so many different places to go in that castle park. Like because I was playing Pokemon Go when I went,
Yeah.
I found like so many different viewpoints and waypoints because on the game it was a Pokestop. So we ended up going to all
lol.
these places that we normally probably wouldn't have gone to
Yeah.
because I was playing the game and I found this viewpoint and you can look out and it's really, really high up because it's on kind of a mound and you can see out straight into like all of the Japanese Canary Wharf and it was so sick.
Oh damn.
And that's like I think there's not much to actually see there. Like you can see the castle, but you can't really go into it. There's not like much to see. So I'd recommend it more if you just wanted a quiet day in a park rather than like to go and see something super interesting. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And I agree with you. Like you can be in the heart of such a busy area and then you go into a park or something and it's completely dead.
Yeah. And I feel like that's different from London because if you go to Hyde Park on like a
Oh, hella busy.
normal
Yeah.
day when people are allowed
All
out,
the parks are busy
Yeah.
here.
Holland Park, Regent's Park, whichever park you go to, is just crazy.
Yeah. But it's kind of like what you said. It's a bigger city, so the parks are way bigger as well. So I feel like there's
Yeah.
less chance to bump into people.
Yeah, but I think the general line of that story and the conclusion of that story is a good thing that these companies are trying to not lay off people. They're kind of just trying to
Yeah,
push
exactly.
people to
Moving
different
them
areas
around.
of work. And speaking of work, the last news story I have is the least stressful jobs ranked by Japanese people.
Okay.
So there was a survey that went out, I think last month or in November, and it was a survey to find out which jobs are essentially low stress in terms of their opinions. So they interviewed like men and women of all different ages to figure out, what jobs they were doing and their levels of stress.
Yeah.
So apparently the fifth least stressful job. Can you guess what it is?
Oh man, I don't
Convenience
even know
store.
because Japanese people work so
Normal.
damn hard. I feel like it's not going to be
And there's so many random
normal
jobs as well,
answer.
right?
Postman.
Yeah.
What did you say?
What did you say?
Postman.
Postman. Oh, close, but no.
Oh,
it's
shit.
waiting tables.
What?
Yeah.
You know what? I can
Waiting
kind of see that
tables
because
is-
most people in. Oh, actually, no, I can't see that now that I think about it. Because in Japan, it's the customer is like seen as a king, right?
Yeah.
So if you have to really be super courteous, and then you don't get tips either.
Yeah. So
Waiting
the
tables is stress, man.
yeah.
Wow.
So the reasons behind people not thinking it's stressful, and people who actually do the job as well, they said it's not stressful. They go, even though there's a little bit of physical activity and there's constant interaction, right? There's a lack of deadlines and quotas. They don't really feel that stress compared to a normal commercial
Yeah, I
company.
can see that.
And they go like that reduces stress levels. And they even said that they love food and they love people, so they're in that job to kind of work with people and work with food. And every time, because Japanese people, they're mostly polite, so every time they
Yeah.
got encouraged and someone said, the food looked good or thank you very much or everything,
got
they
happy,
really
yeah.
they really felt happy and they felt encouraged. And they said
What a
that
difference.
their
Only
work
in Japan.
responsibilities were very standardized and easy to
Yeah.
understand, so they could always come to work with the same kind of mindset, and it wouldn't be stressed because they knew what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, that
You know, in the West, pretty much all of the jobs involve, like all of the least stressful jobs in either are a doctoral job that is easy to do. So it's like being a specific, like maybe, I don't remember what they were, but when I looked them up, I think one of them was like, it was a heart doctor, but it's not one that does surgeries. It's just one that like evaluates
Oh.
your heart.
okay.
So it's those types of really weird specific jobs that you don't have to do too much. And obviously you have to go to university for like 10 years to be a doctor. But then after that, there are certain doctoral specifications that you can go into that
Yeah.
are, I don't even know if doctoral is the right word. Like,
No idea.
basically, if you become a doctor in a very specific thing, it can be very non-stressful depending on what you go into.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And then the other side of the least stressful jobs are always to do with data. So it's either being like an actuarial scientist, but not necessarily being an actuary itself, like sometimes being a very specific actuary. So that's like someone who works with insurance and works with a lot of data to do with insurance.
So is that America and stuff?
Yeah, this is just like the West's perception,
Oh,
like
okay.
America, Europe, the UK.
Yeah, because I think
So
there's
they're always
definitely
like to do with either something very specific and non-threatening to do with that healthcare, or something to do with data where you don't have to interact with people and you're just working in spreadsheets. That's what the like West thinks of non-stressful jobs. So to hear waitress or
Yeah,
waiter
waiting
is
is-
very, very different,
They've
and that's
never
the
waited
complete
here.
opposite
Yeah.
of the jobs that we think are non-stressful.
I think there's a big different culture here. I think in
for sure.
Yeah.
in America,
I mean,
Europe,
d-
it's a lot more stressful.
just sitting in a restaurant, you can hear people treating waiters like shit
Yeah.
here all the time. So imagine.
Exactly.
It's
I mean, it's
because-
definitely a flip side to be in Japan and be a waiter.
Yeah, and
Being
it's
in-
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Roman.
It's like being being brought up in Japanese culture, you get taught manners. You get taught like discipline. In the West,
Yeah.
like
It's more of a free-for-all.
Western families do not
Yeah,
teach their
definitely a
kids
free-for-all.
manners, or there's no such like strict like, oh, you need to have manners and this is discipline. It's more like free for all. Yeah, do whatever
I
you
just
want.
found the best example. Like,
I'll let you do what you want. I agree with what you want, and that's why parents get treated like shit by their kids all the time as well. Like no wonder.
I feel like in the East, in Asia and stuff, it's more co-op.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's co-op,
Right?
and then
Whereas
it's
in the West,
free-for-all.
it's
Free for all in the West.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit about
multiplayer
nobody.
allowed.
Yeah, I had to get a COD analogy in there real quick.
No wonder we live in the worst states in the West right now, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the East is like, yeah, you lot are fucking fucked up. 'Cause
Well, you say that, but Japan actually closed travel, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, again. Yeah.
good thing
Yeah,
that
they
they
closed
did.
it again.
Because it's
So,
increasing everywhere
yeah.
again. So
Good thing
Yeah,
that
they're
they did.
open and
Yeah.
then close and then open and then close.
so back to the article. The fourth
Yeah.
kind of least stressful job was actually data entry.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so a
Makes
similar
sense.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you said, right, they don't really have stressful deadlines, right? There's
Yeah.
not really many quotas. You're just there typing in numbers
Code.
into a
Yeah.
spreadsheet or into a
Yeah.
database. And
Yeah.
people who work in that job, they were saying, they can do it at their own pace, and they don't really need to communicate much. So they're just
Which is
left to
nice.
their own devices, really.
Very
Right?
nice.
So
Even though it
in
can
the-
be boring, they
Yeah.
enjoy it because it's very low stress.
I feel like for us in the West, though, there's still deadlines, but it's just that we have such stressful work sometimes that it's not like being like working with data. When I said that, I meant more like someone who does like data graphs and provides data to like a salesperson. Like you're evaluating data. You're not normally like just typing it in, because I feel like when you're just typing it in, they want it as fast as possible to be typed in the West. So in Japan, that's another difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you'll be interested.
Interesting,
And
yeah.
actually,
I want to know what the
surprised.
first one is.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised by the third one.
Oh, the third one,
What
okay.
third
It's,
one?
it's
Okay,
not what you
okay.
expect, and I think it's going to be another cultural difference, like
Okay.
the previous one, which was around waiting.
Okay.
All right, the third
What is
one
it?
is sales assistance.
Oh,
In retail.
wait,
Oh,
no,
man.
no, there's no way that sales assistance in Asian countries is not stressful. Bro, they give customers stress. I go to a shop in Korea and it's like, can I help you with something? Can I help you? Constantly. It's like they're rushing me to shop. I guess that's why they're not stressed, because they're not
'cause
taking the stress, they're giving
they're
us
passing the
stress.
stress. Yeah,
Oh my God. I cannot go shopping in Korea ever without someone up my ass. Like,
yeah. I just
oh,
avoid eye
can I
contact
help you with
whenever
this?
I go.
Or do you need help? And they're always like, they always have a specific phrase like, welcome to this place. Let us know if you need any help. And it's like, yeah, you told me to let you know. Don't come up to me.
They follow you.
I'm
No, legit, they
looking.
follow
Bro,
you.
they're trying to be helpful.
But it's too much. It's
aggressive,
adding
yeah.
stress. It's like you're making me
tell,
want
you
to
can tell
shop.
Raman's a London boy.
I cannot.
He doesn't want help. He's like, fuck off. I don't want your help. I just want to.
Yeah, man. It's like I want it to be where
They're trying to do co-op shopping with you,
too
Raman,
much.
and you're trying to do free-for-all shopping.
it's too much. Shopping needs to be free for all, man. Like I'll come up to you if I need help. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
It's like it's constant. That's the thing. And I know that in
Yeah.
Japan they do that as well, because I've seen like videos of like inside stores and they're always like shouting this phrase like welcome, and it's always in like this
Yeah.
really like cutesy. I don't know what it is with
Yeah,
Japanese.
bro,
It's
they're
like
so
a
nice, I swear.
different.
When I
It's a
was
different
there-
pitch to how they talk.
I just thought, I think I told you guys about this, but when I was just in the lint shop in one mall in Kanazawa, it was just the nicest shopping experience. Like, I just wanted to try some of the Japanese flavored, you know, Lint do those chocolate balls?
Yeah.
And like, they're always different flavors.
So
they had
good.
like some different flavors in the Japanese one, so me and my girlfriend wanted to go try them.
Matcha.
And all I did was I tried one of the woman gave me a free sample. She was so nice and polite, and she gave me a sample of one of them, and I said oishi. And the rest of my shopping experience was just like all paid for, inclusive. Like she was just a nice. She just made sure she was like, "Oh, do you want to try this exclusive flavor? We have these like special
Oh
ones." She was like
my
opening boxes for
God.
me.
Oh damn.
I had to walk away and buy some because she was just being so damn nice.
Yeah.
But I can see that. I don't know though, because being that enthusiastic and nice must be taxing.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
shocked
that's
that
why
they
I
would
also
say
think
that it's not stressful.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's obviously dependent on like individual preferences, but the people
Yeah.
who responded to this survey and who worked in sales, right, especially
Yeah.
the sales assistants, they literally kind of identified as being extroverts, and they
okay.
enjoyed chatting with customers, right, talking to people, and they were happy in the sense that they liked the product as well. So
So I feel like that's another difference,
they
right?
enjoyed
Like here,
selling
people.
what they were actually working with.
Yeah, because people here, I feel like just become sales assistants because it's an easy job
Yeah,
to get into.
try
Whereas
to
in
get
Japan,
money.
it seems like they're going into it because they want to talk to people.
It's-
Yeah, and they actually feel like a sense of
yeah.
pride if they sell something.
Yeah.
Like I worked in retail in the past, but I didn't give a fuck what I was selling. Right?
You see, the funny thing is, right? It's again a cultural thing. It's because people there are polite.
Yeah, because Rama, you work for Uniqlo, right? Like a Japanese company. Did you not have any of this instilled in you?
Fuck no! Do you know the amount of shit people we get in the store? Oh my
I'm sure people are so
God!
rude to you.
This is
People
ramen
are so
unchained.
shit.
Another difference. People are just rude
It's
to you here.
because in the West, people are rude. They have
Hmm.
no manners and they have no like kind of like there's no discipline. But in Japan,
Yeah.
there's the oh, you need to be like, you can't be too loud. You don't want to be
Yeah.
annoying to other people. You have to like respect boundaries and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Which
Bro, the train is such a pleasant experience. I mean, obviously, we said that there's grouping if you're a female,
Yeah.
but using my male privilege, they were very peaceful. I mean, when I was there with my girlfriend, we didn't have any run-ins with anyone. Probably because I'm 6'3" and
Yeah,
like
true.
They would avoid it on
200
purpose.
pounds of pure
You're
like
intimidating to the
Western meat. So they
regular
probably
Japanese
didn't come
person.
anywhere near us. But yeah, it was just nice to be on a train and you could think. Here they're so loud.
Oh, it's
Especially with
annoying
people playing
here.
stuff out loud on their phone. Like, just put your headphones in.
Exactly.
I can see
Yeah.
you have headphones.
Yeah.
Here
You
people
know what
are
I mean?
Just trying
So
to
annoying.
I feel
stunt.
like that is a big difference.
Yeah.
People think that that everybody has their own rights. It's like no, I have the right to do this. I have the right.
Yeah.
So
But
shut
just
the
keep
fuck
it in
up.
check,
Yeah.
innit?
Bruh, you're
Yeah.
on the tube. You're not the only one on the tube. Everybody else is on the tube. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
What's the second one? I want to know what
Yeah,
the second
Okay.
one
what's
is.
the
I think
second
you
one?
can guess this. I think this one's kind of universal across different countries. Just think of a very less or least kind of stressful job you can think, or one of them.
I don't know. For me, I feel like a non-stressful job's like being a gardener.
Okay, it's not that far. Okay. It's
Barista.
base. No.
No, barista must
yeah,
be.
that must be
people,
stressful.
People
You're
are dickish
making
in the
people's
morning
drinks.
with their coffee, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get them the coffee and fuck off.
That's
And then
not-
if the coffee's not good, they're gonna blame you,
Yeah,
even though they
they'll
were
come back and
hassling you.
like spill it on your face.
No, it
or
wasn't that
something.
bad for me. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I like making coffee.
Wait, you were a barista?
Yeah, for like a year.
He's honestly a man of
Oh,
all
mad.
trades.
Yeah, man of all trades over
I
here.
enjoyed it.
Damn, I didn't know you were a barista.
I enjoyed it a lot. But I left.
Damn,
I
that's
left because of
sick.
the manager. But
Yeah, unfortunately.
I don't know. Whenever I'm making coffees for people, I feel like I have so much stress trying to make them a good coffee. So I can't imagine doing it for a job all the time.
No, you get used to it. The more you like, for me, I realized I start off where I'm like, oh shit, I might not be able to do this, and then I get used to it, and then I'm like really good at it all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like
to the
once
point
you
where I'm
learn
training
it
people.
and it becomes standardized, you know you're going to be outputting the
Yeah.
same stuff again and again. And
Yeah, Ramen,
you can
what
only
latte
much
art were you banging?
improve.
Oh, Pret doesn't do latte art, so I never learned that.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the
You
only
should
thing
have.
that
You
I.
should have.
That,
Yeah, you
Just
should have
banged
just
it
learned
in.
it anyway.
Just put
yeah,
some
see,
hearts.
self-improve.
Just
there
put some
was
hearts on
no
it.
opportunities for me. It's kind of sad. Like
Yeah,
that's the
you have
one
to
thing
do
that
it
I was
quick,
looking
yeah.
forward to, like as a barista to learn latte art. But Pret doesn't do latte art because you don't sit in and we don't give you cups.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like the Pret cup. You take it and go kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, being a barista is not the least stressful, according to
it's
this
nice.
survey.
Sucks.
Second least stressful job is admin work.
Huh?
What? So like being a secretary? or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Like just working
what?
in an administrative
Bruh, that's
work
weird.
environment.
I can't imagine that's nice.
Well, I think
How
I
is
think
that nice?
I think it's fairly standardized. They were saying
thought admin
there's not
work-
really many
Oh,
issues.
so you don't have to think
You
too
have
much.
your
So you
yeah,
can
you,
kind
you
of
have your few tasks like organize this, set up that meeting,
yeah.
make sure this newcomer comes into the office. Make sure they sign in here, like those kind of jobs, which is very very
Yeah.
admin.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you don't really work too much with people. So there is a trend going on here where the more extroverted people who enjoy less stressful jobs, they work in like these kind of cafes or these restaurants,
Yeah.
as well as shops and retail.
Yeah.
Whereas the introverts who like less stressful stuff, it's more sitting at your desk, like data entry, admin work, stuff like that.
What's the least stressful? I want to know what the top one is.
Yeah. So
something
the least
culturally-
stressful is warehouse/factory jobs.
What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. So apparently they're actually very, very popular for people who prefer to work alone and to follow a kind of rigorous standard procedure where the machine practically does most of the work.
Oh, you're
And
right.
they don't
It's
need to speak
different
it.
to be in a factory in Japan.
Yeah,
Lol.
they said they just essentially quietly work by themselves for themselves. They need to concentrate they need to pay a lot of detail and attention to what they're putting together and what they're putting to the machine and what the machine's giving back, right? And there's no particular skill required, so a lot of people can jump in there whenever they want.
Yeah.
And there's no kind of like politics or you need to do this and this and this. It's just very standardized work, essentially.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
Okay,
Japanese
fair enough.
cultural differences from the West,
Yeah,
like Asian
man.
cultural differences to the West, just goes to show what the least, like how most of the ones that were on there are stressful here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Even
Yeah.
warehouse working here is stressful, bro.
Yeah,
Holy
for
shit.
real. I mean, like, wasn't there that thing in Amazon where they weren't letting people go to the
So-
bathroom, so most
exactly.
people were wearing nappies?
Oh yeah, that's
Stupid.
crazy, man.
No wonder
Yeah,
Bezos
It was
imagine
like
has so
that.
much
5
money.
minute breaks, right? over
Yeah,
like
yeah,
2 hours or 3 hours or
they're
something.
like 5 minute. I mean, sometimes what places do here, I'm not saying that Amazon did this, although I think that working for them was not nice for warehouse workers. Um, like my sister worked in a museum for a bit, and basically what they did was they only gave people shifts in like shifts of 4 hours, so that they only had to give them like a 20-minute break a
Oh,
day.
that's such a dick move. That's
No,
like,
no, sorry, it wasn't 20 minutes. It was 15
like,
minutes.
yeah, it's
They had
15
15
minutes.
minutes. So the walk from there, from the exhibits that they had hired people to do the work, was a 10-minute walk to go to the cafe inside the museum. So you couldn't even buy
God
food. You
damn.
had to buy food before your shift, because if you walked to get food from there, you would have to run back. So you can't eat and like sprint back, because you have to run. It's not just like it was like a brisk walk there. It took 10 minutes. It was a pretty big museum. So you'd have to literally
Wow.
run back. And by the time you ran back with your food, you couldn't eat it.
How are they
So it
allowed
was like
to do
a
stupid shit
crazy
like that?
situation.
I
I
don't
feel
get
like
it.
this stuff doesn't happen. I don't know if it does happen or it doesn't happen elsewhere, but if people are saying that they enjoy these types of works, I can't imagine that they treat people like that.
These are Western capitalist loopholes.
Hey,
That's what
let's
they are,
bring
bro.
out the sickle and hammer, boys.
Fucking,
Or is it hammer and sickle? I don't know how they
I don't
say
know
it.
what it is. Like,
This is the solo queue.
I don't want to go into all that madness about like, but that's definitely like a Western capitalist move to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know what, we're gonna make as much money out of you, rinse all the energy out of you, but only give you 15 minutes, and the 15 minutes out of the 15 minutes, 10 minutes is your walk to the cafe,
Yeah.
so you don't even get to eat.
Well, premium segue here on the topic of capitalism and money and buying things. I think it's time to introduce capsule catch up.
Yeah.
So this is something after last week's mentioning of the capsules and the Instagram stories. Seems like they're quite popular.
Yep.
So we're gonna do a little quick 5-minute capsule catch up.
That has a
I'm
nice
gonna kind
ring
of
to
take
it.
you through some of the new or maybe even old capsules that have come out that are
Yes.
pretty wacky.
Okay.
So
Wacky
probably on our
collectors.
Instagram, I'll start doing a story where I post the capsules that we talk about this week.
Go on.
So there's two that just came out.
Okay.
One that I'm gonna save for the end because I think it's gonna outshine, and then there's another one that I noticed. So basically, the one that I found that was super weird was it was a mini karate chop roof tile that you actually destroy. So basically, you go and you put your 400 yen coin in, you get your capsule out,
Yeah.
and it's 2 cinder blocks, and then like I think it's up to 4 mini concrete roof tiles, and you basically stack them up like you were doing it with normal karate blocks,
Yeah.
except they're absolutely tiny because they come in a capsule toy.
Yeah.
And you can get different colors, and the different colors are different rarities. And you
Lol.
basically you stack them up and then you break them with a karate chop. So you're literally buying it to break them.
And they actually break.
And they actually break. And they had other toys that went along with this. So you could get the karate toy, you could get the karate roof tiles, and then you can get other things that you can use to break the tiles. So they had like a little wrench or a little crowbar or a little
Damn.
baseball bat. You could either just chop it with your hand, or you could get a different toy that kind of works in tandem with the roof tiles.
Lol.
So I just thought it was so weird that you're literally, I mean, as I said, like the weirdest ones for me were like the emergency exit.
Yeah.
And this is, I feel like even, I don't know if it's even more weird than collecting emergency exits, but to collect roof tiles,
Yeah. To
like
be honest,
it's a pretty wacky one.
I feel like it's just one of those random trends that Japan picks up, and then people just go crazy around it. Because like I was also reading that article, and there just seems to be like quite a few famous people just recording themselves building that small kind of the tiles,
The roof
and then
tile thing,
breaking
yeah.
it like a karate
Yeah,
chop.
yeah.
So I think it became one of those kind of like meme online trends, like
Oh,
like
yeah,
earlier
just
last
like
year.
viral trend, yeah.
It's still crazy though.
Weird.
But yeah, people were collecting. I mean, think about how many you'd have to buy to get a big stack. You'd have to buy a bunch of them
You have
to
to
get
spend
a
quite
big
a bit
stack worth
just to break it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was one of the weird ones. Another weird one I saw. This one was it's actually from 2019. But I didn't see this when I was there. But it's definitely a weird one. So it's kind of like the urinal one, but basically, it is collectible Shiba Inus taking a piss. So Shiba Inu, for those who don't know, is it's the Doge dog. It's like a Japanese dog, and it's from the Doge meme.
Yeah, the
And
Doge donkey.
yeah, Doge. Some people call it Doge. Some people call it Doge. But basically, they have 4 different types. So they have a black and white one, and the regular brown and white one, and then they have 2 different colors of pee.
What?
So they have yellow pee and blue pee.
What?
And basically, the way they were described, they were received as extremely cute and good boy.
Good boy.
So that's how they described the toy. And in the like ad for the capsule toy, it's got the dog peeing on someone's legs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
damn
the
it.
legs come separately or
Yeah.
not, but
Yeah, I think it's just funny because like the name of the company who made it is Koala, and the craftsman from it said
Yeah.
they hope that you'll admire the satisfied, far off look in the dog's eyes as they relieve themselves.
Oh my god. What?
And that
that
they're
guy
great
get
for
pissed
pairing with
on?
other figures. So I guess you just stick
Yeah.
it to another figure you have.
yeah, that must be what it was saying with the legs, because they obviously aren't in this. The legs don't come in the capsule, so they must have just put it to show you that you can put it with other capsule toys.
Yeah.
And have the dog pee on them.
Yeah.
That's
And like
so
just imagine
interesting.
it's someone's job to kind of get this plastic pee and stick it into the dog.
Yeah, I mean 2 different colors as well. Like
What's
depending
the
on what you
blue
want, you can
for?
either have the nice ice blue, or the frozen slushy yellow.
Oh,
Like the ice blue is
But
looking
yeah.
healthy.
the yellow is basically
it was
dehydrated
a-
pee.
It was a weird
Yeah.
one.
So was there one even
so-
weirder than that?
Yeah, there's the last one for today's capsule catch up is the weirdest one I've ever seen.
Okay.
I don't know if there's some that I haven't come across yet, but this literally, right before we did this news special, I was just checking the news in Japan, and they just released a news article on a new capsule toy. So the one that they've just released is one called the Poop Flinging Game.
Oh,
So I'll put all of these up on the Instagram so you guys can see what we're talking about.
Ugh.
But basically, it's kind of a clip. So it's kind of like a little triangular clip that you could flick something off of. So you'll have to
What?
see what I'm talking about. But if you just think of like a little catapult where you can pull it down and flick it and it will flick the poop, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's got like a white clip, and then it has
Wait. On that
a-
clip, it's got
yeah,
legs.
on the clip is legs open in a really weird way. It looks like a turkey or something.
Yeah.
that's
and then it's a
so
butt.
weird.
And then it's got little poops, and each poop is collectible. So the actual poops are collectible. It's not necessarily the
no.
butts that you use to flick them. And then you get a bunch of different accessories depending on which one you get. So you get 10 different pieces of poop. So they have 2 styles of
Oh.
poop. There's the emoji style poop, and then there's a normal turd looking poop. All right, so depending on which one you
Yeah.
buy, and then depending on which one you buy, you can get different things to flick the poop into. So you can either get a mat that has little spaces for you to try and land the poop on, or you can get a little, like, it looks like a toilet seat but without the back. So you have to try and flick it and get it through the toilet.
Yeah.
Or
Good
there's one
lord.
that looked like, at first when I saw it, I thought it was a baby's crib or a urinal. And then I showed it to Tala and I was like, Tala, what is this? Like, are you flicking poop at the baby? And he was like, I think it's one of those standing toilets or squat
Yeah,
toilets.
squat toilet.
Ooh.
So you can either flick it into a regular toilet, a squat toilet, or onto a mat to see how many you can get.
Yeah, because in
the respective
Japan, you have to be
spaces.
careful when you go to public toilets because some of them are actually squat toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are the beautiful, blissful, heated seat, plastic wrap experience that you can't miss out on. So take your chances, guys. Go and use those public toilets.
With those hydro-powered jets of water streaming out.
Yeah, and they have like plastic wrap that goes around and like toilet covers so that you don't have to sit on someone else's pee toilet. Like that you literally have, they basically clean themselves for you. So pretty nice experience, but I don't know if I would cop the poop flinging game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
bit
weird-
It is it's really cheap though, to be fair. Like it's one of the cheapest capsule toys I've seen. It's 200 yen. Most of the ones I saw were 400 yen. And the Shiba one was 300 yen. And that's just one
we know
figure
why.
that stands up.
No one's gonna fucking buy
With this
it.
one you get 3 different games and it's
Yeah.
200 yen. That's kind of a steal.
All right, so after the first 5 minutes, how long would you think you'll be playing with it?
I don't even think I'd last 5 minutes,
I
man.
don't-
I would probably flick one poop and be disgusted.
Yeah, I'll just probably
throw
flush
away.
it down the toilet. That's where
Yeah,
it
flush
belongs.
it down the toilet where it belongs, yeah. It would have been nicer if they made collectible butt cheeks.
Oh, okay.
Good
At
lord.
least put like a 1-up, like different colors.
To be honest, I think there probably is a place in Japan that specializes in that.
Collectible butt cheeks.
Oh, that's weird.
Well,
bro.
anyway, that's it for the capsule toy catch up. We'll come back next week with 1, 2, 3 different capsules, and we'll do a little segment.
Yeah.
Try and keep it weekly. I'm sure there's enough capsule toys that have come out over the past probably 20 years to keep us engaged.
Probably, yeah.
So we'll let you guys know,
Yeah.
and we'll start a little Instagram story stash point where we keep all of the ones from the different weeks.
Yeah. And I think that's it for this week's
This week's
news
episode
special as well.
Yeah.
This episode.
Yeah, this is actually the longest news special we've done, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff happened, I guess.
We
There's
were
always stuff
off
happening.
as
Yeah.
well.
But
Yeah. That's it for today's episode. Thanks again, guys, for listening. Follow us on our socials. And yeah, we'll see you guys again next week, same time. Bye.
Peace.
Catch you next week.